Paltrocast.
Will, how's your day going aside from answering the same questions over and over and over again?
Oh, my day's fabulous. How about you?
Damn nonstop, but we're not here to talk about my day. We're here to talk about your day, your new project, etc.
Mhm.
Executive producer and on camera, etc. Did you know that you wanted to be involved as a producer when you were first cast in the project?
I didn't. I think that was something that Daniel and Addie and Sam and Lovell and I sort of figured out a little later. But this is a very unique process because we'd all known each other, and everybody in this film is family and close friends. So we all had known each other for years and years and collaborated for 10 years before the this project really started. Or I guess when the project started, it had been like 7 or 8 years.
Hmm.
It was something they suggested, but I think when we do projects together, I think it's very much very collaborative, very kind of team DIY experience. So when I didn't know that sort of what we had always done sort of was in some capacities a bit of a producer role anyway. So I was really thrilled when they asked, and a little nervous and scared, but it ended up working out really well.
Did you say DIY because of your past in the punk rock musical that you were part of?
I didn't, but yeah, that was that. I don't know that play was necessarily DIY. The our DIY projects were more like off Broadway, in a black room with like two clip lights and a sheet and like a bed, and that was all you get, and you have to figure out how to tell a story. And that's, I think, the brilliance of the artistic team on this project is they can make magic with anything. And so and I think they really did with this film as well.
Now, you do come from the theatrical world. You went through the proper classes and the training before you wound up in the film and television projects. Was the
Mhm.
long-term goal when you started to be a theater person, or is that just how it shaped out?
Was the long-term goal to end up in film and
Oh,
television?
to basically where I'm going with that is when I was
Hmm.
growing up, a Broadway actor was just a Broadway actor. Very
Hmm.
rarely did you see them on an episodic or procedural kind of show.
Hmm.
And nowadays, you could do everything. If you look at your
Hmm.
co-star Chris, he could do soap operas and theater and film and television. That was kind of unheard of decades ago.
Hmm. Yeah, I think yeah, it's a really good question. I think the entertainment world is ever changing, and I think even when I was a kid growing up, everything looks so different now than it did then. But for me, I was always drawn to, as a young kid, to film. I was like getting pulled into stories like high fantasy, and like seminal movies for me growing up were like Lord of the Rings and Gladiator. And I but I always did theater. I'm like, I did community theater at my local rec center. It was like all like Guys and Dolls Junior and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I was always on stage. So I don't know necessarily that the goal was ever to be a film and television person. I think for me it was just like I always knew I wanted to be an actor in any capacity that anybody would have me. And so I just feel super grateful and lucky that I've gotten to do both and continue to get to do both. I think I feel really lucky. Yeah.
Was a lot of work needed for prep for this role? And I ask that because you were very comfortable with the team behind it, and they obviously trust you enough to make you executive producer of it. But sometimes roles that are meaty or more dramatic and are indie, it's kind of a whirlwind, a tsunami of tough factors there.
Yeah, I would say this filming this movie was definitely a whirlwind. We had a very short period of time to film a lot of stuff. And
Sure.
but I think like I was saying, mm, everybody in the film and I had collaborated so many times. I think, like, so for me, a lot of the work of this character we had built that over years and years and years of collaborating together. So we had a very good shorthand. So Daniel or Sam or somebody could make a quick little reference, and I sort of knew exactly what they wanted. So I feel like we built a lot of it before, and then kind of leading up to it, there was, I think, us being in the place of where we shot was really helpful. So that really played a big factor as well in the research and development of the character.
Where was Midday Black Midnight Blue filmed? And I ask that because these days they'll say, oh, it was in North Carolina. And you go, but there was a New York City scene. They go, yep, North Carolina. They have a New York City set there. Where was this one filmed?
We shot this in Seattle, and then the other part of the film was shot in Whidbey Island, which is right across the Puget Sound. But we were all on location, so everything you saw, everything that was shot in Washington State. And I think it, as you've seen, is a very prevalent force in the film, that place.
Got it. Have you filmed before in Washington State?
No, I'd never been there. I'd been to British Columbia, but never been up to Washington, and was really kind of blown away with the nature up there. And I think the film is, has so much extremity in it, that the extremity of the nature and the place really helped us so much when we filmed, and ended up in the final cut of the film as well.
Cool. Well, going through the IMDb, which is never the gospel. I mean, it's missing all your theater credits. So it doesn't have half the things that you worked on, but it says upcoming films: Sinking Spring, Telling Time, Ain't It Though, and Lily. Is all that true? Is some of that true? Are there places we can see in the near future, or is it all Midday Black, Midnight Blue forever?
All of that is very true. It's I'm very happy to report it's all true. Telling Time's a short film that I worked on with Daniel and Sam that is completed, and has been doing festival circuit, so it can be screened in some places. And Ain't It Though is a film that I also worked on with Daniel and Sam and Addie and a bunch of other folks, and they are currently I think they're editing it right now. It's in post-production. And Lily is an independent film that has been completed and not screened, I think, but it's been shot and hopefully will be released next year. And Sinking Spring is a TV series on Apple that I was currently shooting. That's right now is on hiatus because of the writer's strike. So we're about halfway done with that. But yeah, so that hopefully will fit, go back and finish shooting it, and you'll be able to see it hopefully in 2024.
So what I'm learning, my biggest takeaways from this interview, it not just the talent and hey, take the damn compliment right there, Will, but it's that you forge long-term relationships with people with ongoing collaborations, and you can keep secrets about what's happening and all that. It's just IMDb is spoiling all the secrets.
That's right. Yeah, I think so. I think you nailed it right in the head. Yeah, that's perfect.
And my last question before I let you go: when you're not busy with your craft, where does your time usually go?
Where does my time go? Well, I live in Chicago, and my time usually goes to family and friends. And now that it's summertime, I live really close to Wrigley Field, so I go to a lot of Cubs games, and I love to read and about everything. So I'm an avid reader and just started getting into cooking. So that's sort of my world right now.
Do you want to throw out a first pitch at a Cubs game?
Oh yeah, I would. You say when, I'll be there, and I can be there in 10 minutes from where I'm sitting. So you say when and I'll be there. That would be a dream come true.
Okay, we'll get the petition started on that one. But Will, hey, congrats on this film. Thank you for your time. We're really looking forward to whatever's coming next from you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Paltrocast.